Good day, everyone. So, before we start our discussion, let me introduce myself first. I am LG Binatino, a student of Jen Santos Foundation College Incorporated, Bachelor of Science in Accountancy first year student. So, for today's video, we are going to discuss the Chapter 2, Lesson 5 of the Understanding the Self. Who am I in the cyber world, or our digital self? So it has only been 25 years since Tim Berners-Lee made the World Wide Web, or what we see on the internet, WWW, available to the public. But in that time, the internet has already become an integral part of everyday life for the most of the world's population. When we say integral part, it means that the internet is very essential in our daily lives, maybe because it gives fast and effective communication. Almost 2/3 of the world population now has a mobile phone. In this time, or in our generation, majority of people now uses the internet, right? Even 3-year-old children. Imagine that there are 8 billion people in the world, but there are more than 4 billion are internet users, and we belong here. Other details: more than half of the world's web traffic now comes from mobile phones. More than half of all mobile connections around the world are now broadband. And more than 1 in 5 of the world's population online in the past 30 days. Media users in the Philippines grew by 12 million or 25%, while the number of mobile social users increased by 13 million or 32%. Those growth figures are still higher compared to the previous year. More than half of the world now uses a smartphone. With the increasing number of internet users and gadget users, we must not forget that we'll use this in a proper way, and always remember that not all we see or read in the web are true and relevant, because there are many fake news that are spread across the internet. Let's proceed to the classification of identities. Online identity. Online identity is the sum of all our characteristics and our interactions. Our online identity is what makes us selective, because we only select what we want to share about our identity on social media. Another one is the partial identity. It is a subset of characteristics that make up our identity. From the word itself, partial means that only a part of our real identity is being shared. In here, we become selective as well on what identity we want to share online and what is not, and in order for us to get good impressions from other people. Another one is persona. It is the partial identity we create that represents ourselves in a specific situation. It is considered as our partial identity because it can be changed as time passes by. This is not permanent because persona represent ourselves in a specific situation, and it depends in many situations. Selective self-presentation and impression management. According to Goffman and Leary, self-presentation is defined as the process of controlling how one is perceived by other people, and it is the key to relationship inception and development. To construct positive images, individuals selectively provide information about them and carefully cater this information in response to others' feedback. So, self-presentation talks about on how we present ourselves to other people. There are people who limit themselves on social media and they don't want to be overly attached with any social media platforms. But we can't blame them because it's their choice. There are many people that are private persons or low-key. So anything posted online should be considered public, no matter what our privacy settings are. Personal identity. It is the interpersonal level of self which differentiates the individual as unique from others. So it focuses on your differences among the people, while social identity It is the level of self whereby the individual is identified by his or her group membership. If the personal identity focuses on difference among the people, social identity focuses on the similarities that people share. I'm done with my part. Now I'm passing the report to Michelle Masugbod. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Michelle Masugbod, and I am the second reporter of this group. Bill 2013 explained that sharing ourselves is no longer new and has been practiced as soon as human beings form. Digital devices help us share information broadly now more than ever before. In older family albums, the photographer was not often represented in the album, whereas with arm's length photos, they are necessarily included. So according kay Bill, hindi na daw bago sa atin kung paano natin express o share sa iba ang ating sarili. Kasi simulan bata pa tayo, alam natin kung paano i-share sa iba yung mga secrets natin. Kung dati, nakakapag-share tayo ng ating mga secrets o sarili sa iba through face-to-face o personal, ngayon mas easy na siya sa tulong ng digital devices just like your cellphone. As Watch 2010 mentioned, we have entered an extraordinary era of self-portraiture. Blogs and web pages have been continually used for greater self-reflection and self-presentation. Kumbaga, nandito na tayo sa era na kung saan we use blogs and web pages, so it is easier for us for self-reflection and self-presentation. Facebook and other social media applications are now a key part of self-presentation for 1/6 of humanity. As a result, researchers and participants become concerned with activity, managing identity and reputation, and to warn against the phenomenon of oversharing. Since most of us already use Facebook and other social media application, and isa ito sa mga ginagamit natin para makapag-share ng kwento sa iba, some researcher became concerned kasi pwede itong mag-cause sa atin ng masama. Yung iba kasi sa atin, oversharing na, kagaya ng pagbibigay ng address, number mo, o kaya Facebook password. Many teenagers, as well as adults, share even more intimate details with their partners like their passwords. This could be an ultimate act of intimacy and trust or the ultimate expression of paranoia and distrust with partner. Kung yung iba sinasabi nila yung password nila sa kanilang partners kasi may trust sila, yung iba naman wala. People would like to remain updated and they keep on sharing themselves online because it adds a sense of confidence at their end, especially if others like and share their posts. Ito yung tinatawag natin na fear of missing out. Kumbaga dito, we keep sharing online kasi dito natin nakukuha yung confidence natin, especially if you like or share their posts. One of the reasons for so much sharing and self-disclosure online is the so-called disinhibition effect. Ito yung sobra-sobra nating pag-share online. And ito naman yung mga reason kung bakit overshared na tayo sa online. The lack of face-to-face gaze meeting, together with feelings of anonymity and invisibility, gives people the freedom for self-disclosure but can also flame others and may cause conflicts sometimes. The resulting disinhibition causes people to believe that they can express their true self better online that they ever could in face-to-face contact. Dito naman, mas may confident tayo online na sabihin kaysa personal. Takot kasi tayong ma-judge. For example of disinhibition effect that can cause conflict with the others is when you share your secrets. Halimbawa, when you talk to someone that you don't like that person because of its smell, pwede niyo yun sabihin sa iba and may possibility na marinig yon nung sinasabihan mo na may smell or amoy. And it will cause conflict. So oversharing is not good. Just keep it to yourself sometimes. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Genevieve Magwan and I will be presenting about digital self. However, it does not mean that there is a fixed true self. The self is still a work in progress and we keep on improving and developing ourselves every single day. Seemingly, self-revelation can be therapeutic to others, especially if it goes together with self-reflection. but it does appear that we now do a large amount of our identity work online. So mao ni siya guys, no. However, hindi ibig sabihin na mayroon tayong permanenteng true self, no. So example guys na kanang na kay character, no, na kay character, so pwede imong character na mag-iba siya, kaya nga sinasabing permanent, diba? So hindi ibig sabihin na mayroon tayong permanent true self. So kung ano yung pinapakita natin sa ating sarili, no, sa mga tao, kanang kumbaga dili siya steady, dili siya permanent. So may changes gyud na magbago atong true self, no. The self is still a work in progress, and we keep on improving and developing ourselves every single day. So ang ating sarili ay naga-work siya in progress, no, naga-develop siya and gina-improve nato every day, no. Kay ang atong self man good, so kumbaga dili siya dali ma-change, no. Naagud mga progress na kailangan nimo agian every single day, no. Like sa character nimo, no, kung bad imong character, pwedeng in the next day maging maging good na pod, di ba? Ingana siya guys. So naga-work gyud siya in progress. So usahay ka ng kung gusto nimo magbago sa imong sarili, no, dili man direct na karon magbago na jud ka, but naga-work gyud siya in progress. So jud ta, develop jud ta and improve every single day. So ginatinguha gyud nato ani guys, no, ang develops ang atong self, no, na daghan pa ta ma-improve, no, and ma-develop sa atong sarili. So seemingly self-revelation can be therapeutic to others, especially if it goes together with self-reflection. So seemingly guys, ang self-revelation nato, ang pagpapahayag sa ating mga sarili, no, can be therapeutic to others, no. Pwedeng sa iban, no, especially if it goes together with self-reflection. So especially kung maabot siya sa self-reflection. So sa maning mga self-reflection, no, sa atong mga sarili guys. So siya, no, pagpapakita sa ating sarili kung ano yung mga kung sino ba talaga tayo, no. Hindi ibig sabihin na kung sino tayo sa online, no, gayon din sa sarili natin sa private, no, dili gyud siya ingana. So naay mga pagbabago gyud guys. So but it has appeared that we now do a large amount of our identity work online. So when the internet constantly asks us, who are you and what do you have to share? It is up to us if we are going to provide answers to such questions. Queries about time we use the internet, and to do what extent we are going to share details ourselves to others. So mao ni siya. Kung ginaasta sa internet kung kinsa gyud ta, so especially guys, di ba, kung mag-online ta, so natay makitaan dito sa Facebook na katong what's on your mind. So kasi pod ni siya sa who are you and what do you have to share. So mao ni siyang dito sa online, di ba, mao jud ni ang nakabutang dito. So it's up to us guys kung unsa atong na feel, no, na pwede nato i-share, di ba, kung maka-feel ta good, nga bad, no, it's up to us kung answer nato tong katong nakabutang dito na what's on your mind. So maugyod ni siya ang gina-ask, diba, sa Facebook, sa online, kung bisan unsa ni siya nga guys, digital nga online, maugyod na ang gina-ask. So depende sa to akong answer nato na siya. And guys, and we use the internet, and to what extent we are going to share details ourselves to others. So mao ni siya kanang if naatay gusto nga share, so ginagamit jud nato ang internet, kari nga iba't iba nga internet na ay mga Telegram, mga Facebook, mga unsa pa to guys, daghan na mga internet. So, many of us share the bad, embarrassing, and lustful things we experience. We also react and comment on the negative experience of others. Sometimes we empathize with people. We also argue with others online. Relationship may be made stronger or broken through posts online. So, mauna ni siya guys. So, many of us nag-share sa mga bad, share the bad, embarrassing, and lustful things we experience. So, kato akong giingon gaena, so na mga uban nakabati sila halimbawa ka nang nakay friend na nakay kalagot sa iyaha, diba, kay nakasala siya sa imuha, tapos diba wala nimo siya gina private na message, kundi nagpost gud ka sa online guys, diba, kung unsa imong na feel. So, kung sa imong na-feel sa iyaha, diba? So, naka-feel kag bad and i-post nimo through online. So, pinaagi diri guys, diba, makitaan sa uban, then mag-react sila and mag-comment, diba, na mga negative na mga experience. So, kung unsa ilang mga comment pinaagi sa imong post, diba guys? So, sometimes we empathize with people. So usahay nakiramay ta sa uban kung unsa ilang mga na-feel kay kumbaga unsay na-feel sa uban kanang ma-feel pud nimo, diba, kung sad ka, sad pud ang uban, so nakiramay gud sila sa imuha. So we also argue with others online. Relationship may be made stronger or broken through posts online. So, pinaagi diri guys, diba, pwedeng masira imong relationship sa imong friends, sa imong mga kauban, pinaagi sa pag-post nimo through online. Pwedeng mag-broken inyong relationship kay nag-post man ka, so nakit-an to sa kauban nimo, nakit-an to sa katong nakasala sa imuha, diba? So, pinaagi dira ka ng ma-broken inyong relationship. So, wala mo pag-iusap kay nakita na pod sa uban kari, so naulaw tong friend nimo. So, mao to siya guys, pwedeng masira inyong relationship through online, sa mga posts sa mga online. Blogs and social media are the primary digital for on which such confessions occur. But they can also be found in photo and video sharing sites where blunders and bad moments are also preserved and shared. So, mao ni siya blogs and social media. So, diri sa mga blogs and social media guys, so pwedeng ang gina-post nimo diri kay mga pictures ng mga, kung sa social media pwedeng mga pictures, mga video, mao ni siya guys. So, sa blogs na pod kay pwede pod video guys na i-post mo diri. So, and bonus moments are also preserved and shared. So, mao ni siya. So, according to Mr. Foucault, confessing our secret truths feels freeing, even as it binds us in a guilt-motivated self-governance born of a long history. So, according daw kay Mr. Foucault, so, ang pag-confess sa atong mga secret truths, sa man atong mga secrets na mga katotohanan diri. So, ang pag-confess ani kay feels freeing. So, maka-feels kag free, maka-feel kag free, even as it binds us in a guilt motivated. So even kanang nagbind siya sa ato na may impact siya sa ato na guilt motivated self-governance born of a long history. So mao siya guys. So thank you everyone for listening my reports, and thank you ma'am. That's all po.
According to Foucault's Confessions, along with contemplation, self-examination, learning, reading, and writing self-critical letters to friends are a part of the technologies of the self, through which we seek to purge and cleanse ourselves. Despite the veil of invisibility, writers on the internet write for an unseen audience. Both the number and feedback of readers provide self-validation for the writer and a certain celebrity. Confessional blogs may also be therapeutic for the audience to read, allowing both sincere empathy and the voyeuristic appeal of witnessing a public confession. Thus, we should have a filtering system to whatever information we share online, as well as to what information we believe in. WC are being shared or posted by others online. In the same way, we should also think before we post or share in order to prevent conflict, arguments, and cyberbullying, and to preserve our relationship with others. Gender and sexually online. According to Marwick, the terms sex, gender, and sexuality are often thought of as synonymous. They are actually quite distinct. The differences BW, the common understanding of these terms, and how researchers think about them yield insights about the social functioning of gender. Sex is the biological state that corresponds to what we might call a man or a woman, while sex is often explained as biological, fixed, and immutable. It is actually socially constructed. So sex is the biological entity that relates to what we may prefer to as a man or a woman. Although sex is sometimes described as being biological, unchangeable, and unchanging, it is actually a social construct. Next, gender. Gender is the social understanding of how sex should be experienced and how sex manifests in behavior, personality, preferences, capabilities, and so forth. A person with male sex organs is expected to embody a muscular gender. Ang gender po ay a persons with male sex organs is expected to embody a muscular gender. Sex is defined by the social understanding of how sex should be experienced and how sex manifests in behavior and personality.
Hello, this is Ashley Masupo, and today I'll continue discussing about gender and sexuality online, and after that I will be discussing about performing gender online. Sexuality. Sexuality is an individual expression and understanding of desire, while like gender, this is often viewed as binary, homosexual or heterosexual. In reality, sexuality is often experienced as fluid. So sexuality is not about who you have sex with or how often you have it. Sexuality is about your sexual feelings, thoughts, attractions, and behaviors towards other people. You can find other people physically, sexually, or emotionally attractive, and all those things are a part of your sexuality. What is the example of sexuality? Some examples of sexual orientations are the LGBTQIA+. Yes, that is an example of sexuality. So let's proceed to performing gender online. Theorist Judith Butler, 1990, conceptualized gender as a performance. She argued that gender was performative in that it is produced through millions of individual actions rather than something that comes naturally to men and women. According to the disembodiment hypothesis, Internet users are free to actively choose which gender or sexuality they are going to portray, with the possibility of creating alternate identities. Wynne and Katz, 1987. Social media sites like Twitter and YouTube have led to the emergence of a free culture, where individuals are empowered to engage in cultural production using raw materials ranging from homemade videos to mainstream television characters to create new culture of memes, mashups, and creative political activism allows for civic engagement and fun creative acts. So, gender performance is the idea that gender is something inscribed in daily practices, learned and performed based on cultural norms of femininity and masculinity. The idea of gender as performance was popularized by Judith Butler. So, what is an example of performing gender? For example, a woman may perform gender through adhering to the traditional characteristics of femininity through her mannerisms, speech, and appearance. This is a reiteration, a performance of gender, whether knowingly done or based on socially informed understandings. Why is gender performativity important? It's because gender performativity is a term first used by the feminist philosopher Judith Butler in their 1990 book Gender Trouble. They argue that being born male or female does not determine behavior. Instead, people learn to behave in particular ways to fit into society. The idea of gender is an act or performance. So that's it. Thank you.
Good evening, Ma'am Christine Blase, and good evening, classmate. I'm Diane Makailing, and my topic for this day is about the following guidelines will help you share information online in a smart way that will protect yourself and not harm others. Before posting or sharing anything online, consider the following. Number 1. Is this post story necessary? For example, story necessary. We must check the information that we read from social media for us to be aware if what is the fake news and real news. Number 2. Is there a real benefit to this post? Is it funny, warm-hearted, teachable, or I'm just making notes online without purpose? For example, young people can maintain social connections and support networks that otherwise would be possible and can access more information than ever before. Number 3. Have we, as a family or parent and child, resolved this issue, an issue that is still being worked out at home, or one that is either vulnerable or highly emotional should not be made public? For example, Advantage if you talk to your family privately in times you highly emotional, not post instantly, not knowing what will affect your family. Number 4. Is it appropriate? Does it stay within the boundaries of our family values? Example of number 4. Is appropriate, your family can be a family values. All parents should not incorporate according to child development. It's all your ideas on how to live your family. Number 5. Will this seem as funny in 5 to 10 to 15 years? Or is this post bittersweeted for sharing with a small group of family members? Or maybe not at all. For example, number 5. It seems better to share into few members of the family because not all can remember. Next topic is about the rules to follow. Here are additional guidelines for proper sharing of information and ethical use of the internet according to New 2014. Example number 1. Stick to safer sites. Example, if you need an account and password, ask a parent first. Number 2. Guard your password. Never share your password with anyone but your parents. Number 3. Limit what you share. Example of number 3. Be careful not to send photos that include other people or that allows others to see exactly where you are. Number 4. Remember that anything you put online or post on a site is there forever, even if you try to delete it. For example, don't give out secrets or personal information about friends and people you know. Number 5. Don't be mean or embarrass other people online. For example, tell an adult if you see anyone bullying or saying strange stuff to other kids. Number 6. Always tell if you see strange or bad behavior online. Number 7. Be choosy about your online friends. Number 8. Always tell if you see. Number 9. Be choosy about online friends. Some sites let kids make lots of friends with people they don't know. And that's all. Thank you.